morning, class. So I know yesterday we discussed perimeter and 2D perimeter of 2D shapes. Now I want you to focus on the question at the board. I know you may not know the answer, but just take a moment and figure out how would you find the perimeter of an irregular shape. Keep in mind what the perimeter formula is. Keep in mind that it has to be a 2D shape. And think about other shapes that we didn't talk about yesterday. And we'll discuss this as a class. Okay, so how would you find the perimeter of an irregular shape? In order to find the perimeter of an irregular shape, you would basically, in essence, add up all of the sides, where you have to measure each side, whether you have to, or whether the measurements are given to you. In essence, remember, the perimeter, definition of perimeter means the distance around the boundary of a shape. So if you add up each side, what does that give you? The total of the measurement of the shape. It gives you your perimeter. And now the perimeter formula is a simpler way to find the perimeter of normal shapes that we see every day. Like I said, like squares and rectangles. So whenever you have a shape such as a hexagon, 2L plus 2 times L plus 2 times W, that won't work because you have more than 2 sides of length and 2 sides for your width. So you can't use that formula for every shape. Those are for your regular shapes that you see often, like I said, with 4 sides. Now that we've discussed how to find perimeter of regular shapes and also irregular shapes and what you would do, I want you to also now think about what you would do if there's a side missing. If, for instance, in this example, as you see here, they give you your measurements for each side except for this side right here. I want you to take a moment and think about all the things that we've discussed in class. We discussed different types of equations. I want you to think about how you would figure out perimeter if you have a side or measurement missing. So, now that I've given you a little minute to think about it and look at it, what you would do in order to solve for perimeter with an example such as this one where you have a side that's missing, you would see that this side gives you 9, right? And I know this looks a little wonky and different, but I'm going to cover this up. And if you think about it, or even if I push this side up and to fill in this gap that you see here, what shape would that be? This will be just a simple regular shape, a square, a rectangle. In essence, as you see, these 2 sides are equal, which would lead me to believe that this is equal to 9 centimeters. So this should do the same. So if you were given this example on a test or on your worksheets, what you would do is you add up all the sides that are given to you and you figure out how much is left that you need to equal 9 centimeters. Because this line is equal to this line, just like this line is equal to this line. So, as we see in the math, this gives you 9 centimeters, and so the only thing you have left, which would mean that you have 2 centimeters left over that are not accounted for in this indication of this example. So this side that's missing would give you 2 centimeters. Now, like I said, we discussed how to find perimeter of regular shapes and irregular shapes. Now we're going to discuss another example. So for instance, this shape, like I said, is not a shape that we see often. It kind of looks funny, huh? Kind of looks like a bow tie or like a bow tie. That's what it kind of looks like. So in this example, no sides are missing. As you see, we know exactly how much each side is accounted for and what's their measurements. So what you would do for this one is just like I said. Luckily, like I said, you don't have to figure out a missing side or a missing measurement in the length of the width. They are giving you that. So all you would have to do is remember the definition for perimeter is in essence just the length around a body of, not a body of water, the length around a shape, or the distance around a shape in units. So this one's in centimeters, so you have 10 centimeters and 10 centimeters, so these two are equal. And then you just add up all of your sides. You add up your 10 centimeters, your 8, your 5, with your 10, with your 4, with your 6. And that will give you your perimeter for that shape. Okay, class? So yesterday, I know I passed out a worksheet. I want you all to pull that worksheet out. And we're gonna look at number 4. Now in number 4, it gives you your 3 sides. But like I said, there's a side missing. So remember, like we just discussed in example 1, I want you to take a minute and look at your other examples that you worked on yesterday and figure out what you would do in order to figure out 1, your perimeter, and 2, in order to figure that out, that means you need to know how much this last measurement of the line equals. Take a moment and work on that, and then we'll discuss your answers. Okay, so I've given you a moment now to discuss with your classmates what you should do, and now we're going to discuss it. So, like I said, in number 4, your measurements are in what, class? Units. Meters. Your units are meters, right, for this example. So, for your width, remember your width is explaining how wide this shape is. And it's given to you, and that's 4 meters, right? And your length of this is what? 10 meters, that's correct. So, what you would do is, it's letting you know that these lines are equal to each other. They're not indicating that you have a different measurement for your other side of your length or your other side of your width, because that's what we want to know. So that leads me to believe if this length is 10 and this length is also 10, then that would lead me to believe that what? That this line, this 4 meters, it's equal to your other side. So when you add that up, you get 10 plus 10 is what? That's 20, correct? And then plus 4 is what? 24. Then you add another 4, that's 28, right? So the perimeter for this is in what? Meters. Like I said, guys, it's very important. If you do not indicate your units when you're giving me perimeter, your area, and circumference, which we'll discuss later on, your answer is going to be wrong, because I don't know if you're saying that this is 28 centimeters, 28 pickles, 28 lollipops. You have to let me know it's 28 meters, because if I, like we discussed yesterday with your example, if I am going to Home Depot and you tell me I need, my fence perimeter is 38 centimeters, and I come back with a little piece of wood that's 28 centimeters, I can't get the job done. So you have to indicate units so you know exactly what you need or how much this exactly is in the correct units. Okay, so like I discussed, we talked about perimeter yesterday, regular shapes, and today we discussed perimeter and how you would find perimeter of irregular shapes, and if you have a side missing, and how you would use your algebraic skills to figure that out. Now next time what we're going to discuss is how to find circumference. Now I know I gave you a small example of circumference of a circle and how those are 2 different things. But tomorrow we'll give formal definitions and we'll discuss formulas on how to find circumference. Okay, class?